Welcome back. It's time to talk about two-node clusters. Now, I've mentioned earlier that we introduced two-node clusters back in vSAN 6.1 at the same time that we introduced stretch clusters. Now, with two-node clusters, you have two choices. On one hand, you can create a two-node stretch cluster. Now, that doesn't seem to be that popular, at least here in the US. What is really popular is to have two hosts next to each other in one location. And maybe in headquarters, we're talking about having the witness host. This witness host is the same one that you use again in stretch clusters. But remember, each stretch cluster requires its own witness appliance. That used to be the case with two-node clusters, but that is no longer the case in 7.0 Update 1. Starting in 7.0 Update 1, you can, if you want, use one witness host for more than one two-node cluster. And if you take a look, this is what I'm talking about. Now you build a two-node cluster the same exact way I just built my five-node cluster. The difference, of course, is that you have one host in one full domain, the other host in the other. And for obvious reasons, the witness, which is not a cluster member, is going to be, let's say, in headquarters. Here you can see, however, that now you can have a shared witness appliance if you have multiple two-node clusters. Underneath, the difference is you will have different instances of CMMDS, one for each two-node cluster. And when you take a look, here again we show you how you could configure a two-node cluster or a stretch cluster from scratch when you're building, again, your cluster using the Quick Start utility. Now, if you build a regular cluster and then you want to change it to a two-node cluster, once again, all you have to do is select your cluster. Once again, go to Configure, go to Full Domains, and you click on the same icon called Create Stretch Cluster. Because again, remember, a two-node cluster is a variation, if you will, of a stretch cluster. The difference is how many hosts do you have. So I'm going to do another demo. And in the other demo, I am going to take apart my five-node stretch cluster. And I'm going to show you how to build a two-node cluster. When you take a look, what follows is going to be my demo. And I'm going to do two things in that demo. First, I am going to go back to my stretch cluster. And we're going to emulate the failure. Now, I'm not talking about failing the witness. I'm talking about failing maybe just one host. And then we'll talk about two-node clusters. And you'll see me again build a two-node cluster. Now remember, after that demo, you get to do 3 different labs. Lab 7, notice, it's called Managing Stretch Cluster Operations. You can see you're going to grow the cluster. So you're going to take apart one cluster and you're going to grow the first one. Because what you want to do here is you want to play with the policy that allows you to have a VM that is mirrored across sites, but also mirrored within each site. That's the one that requires 7 servers. Then you have lab number 8. That's where you test your cluster. And then again, you have lab 9. And in lab 9, you get to play with a two-node cluster. So I'll see you back in the lab. Once again, I'm going to do a demo. And then you get to do not 1, not 2, but 3 labs in a row. Enjoy, guys. Thank you.